First, I'd like to thank you all for coming to celebrate Annie's 80th birthday party. And so I'd like to present something of a toast, but my toasts are usually a little longer than one or two lines. And I'd like to talk a little about some of my fondest memories growing up as a child of Antoinette. So, as you know, a mother's job is endless, tiring, and a thankless one, especially when you're raising 7 children. And what happens, it can turn a little petite, 4'11", 98 pounds soaking wet woman into a fire-breathing drill sergeant at times. My first memory came about when I was about 6 years old. My mom taught us sign language. And does anybody know the universal sign language from an Italian mother? Exactly, Betty. This is what I'm talking about. I never understood a word, but I knew that I was going to be in trouble and that I was going to be corrected. You always knew her position very well. When I was at age 8, my brother John, somewhat tenacious, detrimental attitude, would inflict pain on the other 5 of us.
6, Joe.
6.
No, Jimmy wasn't born yet.
Me, I'm talking me.
Born yet either. So my mom had to come up with more convincing ways to correct the situation. So, what did an Italian mother do? This came out, and ever since it came out, I think in modern times, 30 years now, 35 years later, it's been replaced by the taser. But I recall, John and I getting into a little bit of a tiff. It was always John and somebody getting into a tiff. And I would see my little 4'11" mother coming up with this whip and the strap, and I'd have about 3 layers of clothing, 4 layers of blankets, and she would come up because I was in bed, and she would do this. And I'd scream like it was, and then she would go to John, and she would tear off those blankets, get his bare ass naked, and she would. It would solve the problem instantaneously. And so